Be in front of change with KPMG in Singapore, only on Money FM 89.3.
Thanks for joining us on Money FM 89.3. Welcome to Be in Front, a special podcast series in partnership with KPMG in Singapore. In a world of rapid change and rising expectations, how can businesses stay ahead and lead with purpose? Through this 5-part series, we unpack the values and strategies that keep organizations not just prepared, but to be in front. We explore how KPMG in Singapore is helping to shape a future-ready ecosystem, from nurturing global talent to building trust, accelerating innovation, and delivering impact that goes beyond the bottom line. This week, we explore the value of courage, how strategic risks and bold decisions can help businesses innovate, adapt, and achieve sustainable success. And joining us today is Anton Ruddenklau, Partner, Head of Financial Services, KPMG in Singapore. Anton, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Very good, thank you.
Thanks for coming on. Over his career, Anton has led and advised more than 200 growth projects for corporates and financial institutions, from strategy and innovation to client development and execution. He has worked with big banks, retail giants, consumer firms, and SMEs alike, helping them navigate challenges and unlock new opportunities. Anton, how do you personally define courage, and what does it mean to you in the context of your work with clients and teams?
Thank you. It's a good question. Courage is one we often talk about, but for me, I look at it as conviction. I think you need to believe and value what is the right thing to be done for your business or for your people or for your customers. And so for us at KPMG, we're advisors, right? We support on the side. We provide balanced advice. We're honest, but we need to challenge our clients. We need to coach them, inform them. And one that we don't do as often, but is actually really good when it happens, is inspire them in equal measure. So I work with senior leaders, board members. Often they want to do the same thing they did yesterday. Doing change and running change is quite difficult and challenging for them. So a lot of what I do is try and help them raise their vision, have conviction around the change that's going to happen in their market. And for us, that's a two-way street. We often learn from them and we take away some of the inspiration as well. So I think we both win when we're courageous together.
Yeah, there's certainly plenty of conviction behind Singapore's payments sector, which, according to KPMG's Pulse of Fintech report, saw impressive investment growth this year, defying global trends. What do you think enabled this growth, and where has courage played a role in staying ahead in this space?
So first thing is, here in Singapore, we are mighty. We're a small nation and similar size to my home country of New Zealand, but we punch well above our weight. And why do we do that? Because the market comes together. We're well considered in the content that we take out to other global partners, and we're always looking to raise the bar. So if you look at payments, for example, we lead the world. Believe it or not, we lead the world in both technology, product, proposition, our regulatory frameworks that we have, and importantly, we also value in Singapore the social utility of low-cost, efficient payments. So that means that our society and anyone in Singapore or the markets we serve can be included in our social and financial systems. That is particularly important. Investors like that because that means expansion, that means growth in their language.
Yeah, investors also like speed and efficiency, which are two key benefits that innovation in this space brings. But I want to turn your attention to some of the often overlooked strategic advantages that fintech leaders must consider in modernizing their infrastructure so they can achieve transformative impact. What's your take on that?
So the one critical advantage for fintechs, not the tech, it's not the cool AI or anything like that at all, it's actually product market fit. So can you actually run a business that your clients need and want and desire and want to pay for? So it's more than just doing high quality market research or product development. It's actually working with your end users to define what their next services might be. So very kind of Apple-esque in the way that we work. And most importantly, again, you need leaders who've got conviction in those gaps in the market. They see the opportunity and they want to go after it. Product market fit, number one criteria for fintech.
Let's talk about some internal obstacles now. Many businesses worry about the cost or disruption of upgrading payment systems. How do you help shift that mindset and encourage leaders to take the leap?
It's a big one, right? So payments are really endemic to anything we do in the digital economy. They get us paid, business done, they fund our supply chains, they keep financial services running, etc. So it's painful to the nth degree when you actually need to replace and upgrade payments. But, we know Moore's Law from university, technology changes very, very quickly, seems like every day right now. And so with the likes of AI or digital assets and stablecoin growing, we have to change and we have to move on. Most important thing I think around this is actually actually the talent and investing in your people to make that happen, ensuring that actually the pain and the gain and the time frame between both of those is clearly articulated. And of course, we at KPMG would say that you need a good set of business benefits and numbers behind any investment case. That really helps the payments transformation work.
Uncover opportunities, harness innovation, and transform your business to thrive in a world of constant change. Visit kpmg.com.sg.
One trend catching on globally is the transcription of an asset into a digital token, or asset tokenization, in other words. It's reshaping financial services as we know it, with Singapore positioning itself as a hub. How do you help leaders find the courage to embrace such complex innovations?
So asset tokenization, digital assets, stable coins, it's all kind of rolling off the tongue this year. This year is the year that it's all happening, right? Particularly in my world, which is financial services and institution. And we're really heartland in Singapore for the innovation. Our regulation, our government has said we will be the world leader. And in fact, we are the world leader in some respects. And they've created a really good environment for these ecosystems to thrive with funding and regulation and market consortia and market infrastructure. I think we've got the entrepreneurs and the digital zealots and those people who like to lead adopt. They're out there creating new products and platforms, business models. But the majority of the big business leaders, and I'm talking about financial institutions and large corporates, they're really interested, but they need education and awareness from day one. They need to know what they're dealing with, what the upside and the downside might be around those risks. They need to be able to experiment to build first-hand knowledge. And also, importantly, they need to be upskilled to work out how they lead their teams in these new areas. There is no playbook, right? We're creating it as we go. And we need to make sure it's safe, but also it's going to deliver the benefits that we talk about.
Yeah, we've also seen a rise in funding for AI-powered fintech in Singapore. A lot of talk out there about how AI should be leveraged. But in your opinion, how can businesses best harness AI to streamline processes? And what's the courageous step here?
My standard patter for my clients right now is a 50-50 on AI, right? So I believe that much of what we talk about is significantly overhyped right now, but the technology is really interesting and the technology will transform what we do. So what we do is we go back to first principles of business. Why do you do things the way you do it? How are you organized? Why are you organized that way? Which customers are you serving? Does a process exist and for what purpose? It sounds a little boring, but actually what we're really saying is how do you align AI to what you set out to achieve in your business from the first day? And then from there, what is the data required to make decisions that will fuel those AI algorithms? That's really important. We get back to that and we call it zero-based design. We think we can fundamentally reshape the businesses and how they work. This takes a lot of courage from our clients because actually it's a longer-term, bigger change than just sort of so-called quick wins or doing POCs in a science lab. Unfortunately, at the moment where we sit as an industry, we've spent a lot of money testing the technology, not a lot on testing actually business change. So the courage of the boards and leaders right now is to spend that time coming up with transformational strategies and visions, articulating the commercial benefits they're going for, and balancing that with that short-term science lab stuff I talked about.
Now, we can't talk about AI without mentioning responsible AI adoption, which is something Singapore has been pushing for. Against that backdrop, Anton, how do you help businesses overcome cultural resistance and build trust in AI-powered fintech, especially in areas like compliance and customer data?
We all love compliance. It's probably our favorite topic at KPMG. But I think building trust is important for AI in all its forms. When we talk around AI right now, what we're really talking about is generative and agentic AI, machine learning, deep learning, big data analytics. It's not just ChatGPT, which is what people equate it with. What this means is that we need to have leaders who've got conviction to take on the systems and the design thinking that they need to solve the problem. So I've mentioned previously clarity of vision, accompanied by iterative change, so you can embrace and reduce ambiguity and innovation. That's really important. Need to build corporate memory and muscle around AI to enable the transformation. And this sort of testing and learning will actually take out any bugs. It'll address the risks. It'll make things much more clear on how the new ways of working are going to happen.
All right, let's conclude on a personal note, Anton. What habits or practices help you build and sustain courage in your own leadership journey?
Yeah, it's a fun thing to talk about. So one of my skills, I think, is being resilient. I know I'm really good at a lot of things, and I remind my wife and my family that I'm a world leader on these topics. They take the mickey out of me for doing that. I think they know, and you guys will know this as well, any family, they know what your weaknesses are, right?
Yes.
We're imperfect. But what I find is I like to work out how I can do things differently. I always self-criticize myself in my mind, and I try and balance that out with things that I've achieved that have worked really well for me and have been great for my clients. So I've got all these rituals that I run. So first first thing is I like to take short walks. I don't like to sit down for a long time, so I'll go away, walk around Asia Square. That takes me 400 steps. It's enough time to clear my mind. Secondly, love investing in coffee and enjoy sort of just having a brew and mulling over things as I'm having that drink. And then finally, I ask my friends, my family, my clients all the time for feedback, particularly my wife, because she knows exactly how I operate. So that kind of keeps me grounded, but helps me understand what I can do differently. And then final one, when I started off my career, it was actually in hotel management, and I started off my career washing dishes. That was my first job. And I remember meeting this person, and she said, if you want to be successful in our chain, you have to come out of your comfort zone. So I try and follow that mantra daily. I keep myself engaged in things that have got a little bit of personal risk. That helps me learn and become incredibly proficient and become a so-called expert. Also, by doing that, I think I tend to inspire younger staff behind me or some of our clients to go and do things differently. So for me, that's the whole circle, right? Being imperfect, drinking coffee, inspiring others, start the next day and do the same again.
Excellent. Love it. Well, today's conversation has shown us that courage isn't just about bold moves. It's about making the right choices that help businesses innovate, stay agile, and thrive for the long run. And with us in the studio to tell us all about how businesses can make these choices has been Anton Ruddenklau, Partner, Head of Financial Services, KPMG in Singapore. Anton, it's been a pleasure having you on. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Staying ahead means seeing beyond today. Be ready for what's next and be in front of change with KPMG in Singapore on Money FM 89.3.
Be in front of change with KPMG in Singapore, only on Money FM 89.3.